dedicated to Eastern and Southern Kentucky. This is WYMT Mountain News This Morning.
Good morning, it's 5:31. I'm Will Puckett.
And I'm Cassidy Strickland. Hope your Thursday or Friday Eve is off to a great start so far.
Definitely. It was nice walking outside this morning. It's always a good morning when there's no frost on your car. You don't have to fire
I'm always
up early.
worried.
Yeah, me too. I always try and look across my way to see if my neighbor's cars are frosty, but I can't see that far in the dark. So it's always a roll of the dice. But Brandon will give you a breakdown of what to expect as you take your kids out to the bus stop this morning or maybe start heading to work. So, Brandon, what are people looking at on this Thursday?
Here's a tip for you guys. If you need to know about frost, look up. If it's cloudy, you're not going to have any frost. Just keep that in mind.
Interesting.
There you go. All right, let's get into it this morning, and we're going to see on the camera network that we are seeing some snow still up on top of Whitesburg Pine Mountain. I had to travel across there yesterday. Went over and visited some kids at Black Mountain Elementary School. Show you their picture here in a little bit, but Winter Wonderland up there. Got a picture I posted on my social media pages that's beautiful right there at the top, and they may get a little bit more snow today, light snow. I'll talk more about that here in a little while as well. Outside WYMT, pretty quiet this morning. We're looking at rain chances for most of us here in the valleys today. Only those higher elevations could get a few flakes as we head deeper into the day. Live pinpoint Doppler radar clear right now, but as we zoom down toward Paducah and out toward Nashville and west, that's where you're seeing some heavier bands of rain as that system works its way toward us. Temperatures climbing out to the west. Monticello already at 40, but most spots right there in the low to mid 30s across the eastern part of the state out toward I-75 and beyond, a little bit warmer. We look at the forecast overall, 42, maybe a little bit better in some spots today. Rain chances will increase as we head late in the morning going into the afternoon, and then evening hours overnight we will see those more chances for rain. Temperatures won't move a whole lot thanks to the cloud cover, but some dreary days are ahead. I'll talk more about those coming up here in just a few minutes.
All right, we'll be sure to check back in with you soon. Thank you, Brandon. Well, new allegations have surfaced against another Kentucky Republican lawmaker. This
time it is against State Representative Robert Goforth. He just announced his intentions to run for governor. Alicia Whitaker says she met Goforth around 2008. She claims he sexually assaulted her. She made the claims through an online petition posted on moveon.org. Goforth responded to the claims in an email to us. In a prepared statement, Goforth said he was unmarried when he and Whitaker had a brief consensual relationship. He went on to say, quote, "The allegations that I assaulted Miss Whitaker are categorically false. I've never assaulted anyone. My wife Ashley and I do not take these allegations lightly and are troubled deeply by them." Now, meanwhile, Kentucky Democrats are calling for the resignations of two Republican lawmakers after a recent report reveals new details into allegations of sexual misconduct. The Kentucky Center for Investigative Reporting got a copy of the deposition from a woman who worked for former House Speaker Jeff Hoover. In it, the woman described, quote, "nearly daily touching and sexual harassment." The deposition also outlines allegations against Representative Michael Meredith and two former representatives.
In other political news, House Minority Floor Leader Rocky Adkins made a stop in Hazard yesterday to greet supporters. He is one of 4 Democrats who have announced they will run for governor this year. Our own Steve Hensley sat down with the gubernatorial candidate on Issues and Answers, and that episode is tentatively scheduled to air Monday, January 28th. Make sure to watch that. And the pension debate will continue today in Frankfort. The Public Pensions Working Group is made up of both Republican and Democratic state lawmakers. They first met on Tuesday. Now, the General Assembly does not meet again until February.
Well, in our nation's capital, Democratic Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez can add a new job to her Capitol Hill resume: Twitter teacher. Ocasio-Cortez will help lead a discussion today on how Democratic House lawmakers can use Twitter more effectively. That is according to a notice sent to Democratic House members obtained by CNN. The notice says lawmakers will learn how to use Twitter as, quote, "an effective and authentic messaging tool to connect with their constituents," as well as, quote, "the importance of digital storytelling." The partial government shutdown has dragged into a whopping 27th day, with Cassidy still no end in sight.
And Democrats are increasing the pressure on President Trump to put an end to it by threatening one of threatening one of the biggest speeches of the year. The president's State of the Union address is uncertain at this point. House Speaker Nancy Pelosi is asking the president to postpone the annual address to Congress or deliver it in writing if the partial government shutdown is not ended soon.
This requires hundreds of people working on the logistics and the security of it. Most of those people are either furloughed or victims of the shutdown.
Now, the White House hasn't responded, though Secretary of Homeland Security Christian Nielsen tweeted the agencies are, quote, fully prepared to support and secure the State of the Union. Now, if the shutdown isn't resolved by Tuesday, most will miss another paycheck. Two different bipartisan groups in Congress are urging President Trump to temporarily reopen the government while the two sides continue to debate border security. Meanwhile, groups of TSA workers rallied in several cities yesterday demanding an end to the shutdown. While they've been working without pay, a growing number have been calling in sick, some so they can work at other jobs. A new food bank at the Tampa airport saw about 60 federal employees in its first 90 minutes. And in Orlando, people are dropping off donations, neighbors helping furloughed neighbors. A federal judge denied a motion by the Air Traffic Controllers Union aimed at stopping the shutdown. Now city leaders in Atlanta are worried about the shutdown's impact on Super Bowl crowds, especially when it comes to the TSA lines.
Well, lawmakers in West Virginia want to use state funds to help pay for President Trump's border wall. The proposal by several members of West Virginia's House of Delegates would divert $10 million from the state's surplus to help pay for the wall.
This is one thing that I think is crucial right now. If we take no action, we're going to get no change.
Now, opponents of the proposal have called it a publicity stunt.
In other news this morning, charges against former Boyd County jailer Joe Burchett have been dismissed. Burchett was indicted in December of 2017 on criminal malfeasance charges after a series of issues at the jail, including escapes, overdoses, and even a riot. He resigned from his position last month, just days after 2 inmates died at the facility. One of those deaths leading to the indictment of 5 jail deputies for manslaughter. Now, after Burchett resigned, court documents say the acting Boyd County attorney Dan King met with the Boyd County Fiscal Court and determined that there was no objection to the Commonwealth dismissing the charge.
Parts of Floyd County have been without water recently, and officials say it will be a little longer before it returns. Officials with the Southern Water District tell us 50 customers in Lackey and Wayland do not have water. A contractor is working to repair the issue. They need to replace 300 feet of line. It could be as late as tonight before it is fixed. For now, those needing bottles of water can go to the Wayland Fire Department.
The end is near for 77 illegal dumps located across 20 Kentucky counties with the help of more than $1 million set aside by the Energy and Environment Cabinet. Breathitt County solid waste officials say approximately $5,000 is going towards cleaning up 3 illegal dumps there on Town Hill Road, Fire Trail Road, and one in the Hardshell community. A 25% match is expected by each county, but officials say they plan to pay through labor. They hope the grant continues well after 2019.
As long as there's funding, and any time that you go to a dump or a landfill or a transfer station dispose of garbage, there's a $1.75 fee that's added onto your disposal fee, and the money from that is what pays for these grants and helps clean up the environment.
Solid waste officials say they hope to begin cleanup in either the spring or fall.
The amount of background checks for handguns in Kentucky is growing. Numbers from the National Institute Instant Criminal Background Check Systems appears to indicate an increase. Now, gun shop owners say more and more people are coming in to get concealed carry training. WYMT's Connor James stopped by one local range to talk about the impact that has.
Workers at local gun shops and shooting ranges say they've seen the largest increase in demand for concealed carry training in years.
We have phone calls daily. We actually had a list with about 50 people on it. They were asking about, hey, can you offer us a class at some point or another?
Ron Thompson manages Copperhead Guns and Range in Prestonsburg. It can be anything from people getting a gun around the holidays.
We've seen a big increase in the concealed carry sales because of that.
To just wanting training.
People that have firearms or new to firearms don't necessarily know anything about the safety aspect of it. And that's the biggest part, because we don't want to see someone, take a firearm home, not be trained, and they leave it out for their kid to get it.
He says lately, anytime anyone comes in and buys a gun from the store, they'll want training too.
Before, years past, I didn't necessarily see that all the time. But now it's as soon as people come in, if they don't have a concealed carry license, they ask how to get one.
He says, like always, they hope people will never have to use a gun for reasons other than leisure.
But, if they're in that situation where they need to use it, they need to be able to know how to use it safely.
But wants to make sure everyone has proper training. In Prestonsburg, Connor James, WYMT Mountain News.
Now, courses run at about $75. We have more information on our website over at WYMT.com.
Straight ahead on Mountain News this morning, a blast of winter weather begins to crawl across the country as we head toward the weekend. We will take a look at the problems this storm is causing on the West Coast.
Whether you're a dunker or dipper, you'll love what we're whipping up today. It's a homemade onion board that tastes like it just came from a bakery.
Rain gear, don't leave home without it today or you will regret it for sure later on today. I'll track out that forecast and see what we're expecting in about 2.5 minutes.